Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Lena Rodriguez here, your spiritual ambassador from Australia. Welcome, welcome, intrepid viewers. If you're a regular viewer, welcome, new people. So, just so you know, with this channel, proudly not fair and balanced. No. We just have to look at it how it is, don't we, really? What I really want to focus on today, everyone, is how the infrastructure bill is travelling. But in other news, DeJoy, so badly named, DeJoy has suspended postal services from the USA to Australia. A viewer alerted me to this and I thought, really? And it's true. Don't know for how long. Australia and 20 other countries. This isn't a postal service. We shouldn't have to resort to pigeon carriers. What first world country suspends its international postage? Is this because he's working overtime to sabotage the various smaller elections that are going on or something? Have to have a look at DeJoy. But first, I want to have a look at what's happening with the poor infrastructure bill. I'm sure you find the same thing. Every 2 days, you go on your news feed to find something else has been lopped off the infrastructure bill. To a certain extent, it's to be expected, best not to panic. But let's have a look how it is travelling. And now the progressives have been putting up barriers too. So far, it's been, the nasty cinema and mansion. But now the progressives, I'm sure they have their reasons, but everyone's at Biden and Pelosi over this. So let's see how it's travelling. It survives. And I'll do a rose spread for this. So come on down. Oh, the Emperor. Current thinking. Oh. Well. Oh. I have to say, it's better than I was expecting. I'm always pleased when that happens. So let me take you through it. All right, trendsetters, here we go with the infrastructure spend. In the middle, this is the Empress, the mother of all and plenty, meaning trying to spread the money around. That's all they're trying to do, is get much needed projects into areas where they can create jobs and improve the lives of people. How radical. Okay, so that's the Empress wanting to do it. And I'll just take this moment to remind everyone, as a sociologist, I spend a great deal of time, particularly with my young students, explaining to them, we actually don't live in an economy, we live in a society. So the whole idea behind this is to make the economy work for people, as opposed to working for the 10% or even the 1%, to work for more people. That's what this is all about. The past ideas on this, excuse me, I think this is somewhat the despair felt by maybe even Biden himself, about how to do this, how to get this up. It's a fundamentally decent idea, but it has caused tremendous anxiety for those who are trying to push it over the line. They're constantly being presented with offers that are refused or knocked back. This is the story of the infrastructure bill itself. It's being evaluated, and the steady Knight of Pentacles is moving forward. I think the advice here This is appraising where it's up to, where it's going, what it's lost. This is a much steadier figure. And I think the takeaway is the smartest thing for Biden and Pelosi and the main players to do is please just get anything passed. And hopefully as numbers improve and stuff between 22 and 24, you can add things back in. You don't have to fight for everything straight up. When people get a little taste of something working, like that bridge that has been a threat for 40 years of falling down, and the road that was closed and not reopened after a big storm somewhere that has meant no one can get things in and out of towns for years, reinvesting in Amtrak or whatever, it's all needed and more. That's before you even get into the Green New Deal. This is remedial stuff I'm picking up on here. The remedial stuff that then I think the progressives will be more satisfied down the track, even if they're not happy now, as things transition globally into a more green economy. Why am I optimistic? I'm glad you asked. It's because advice from the universe to Biden, etc., is the star. This is my luminous USA card, and the sun shining. So they'll get a version of it up, but please don't get depressed and downhearted about what isn't getting up, because it's such a contested field. We know how the GOP and all conservatives in every country are allergic to spending money on working people. They're allergic to it. They're happy to spend tens of billions, hundreds of billions, fortifying those who already have an immense amount of wealth, but they're really allergic to small things that make a difference to people's lives. And so I think people who've had a taste of Biden's support in the form of $500 a month if you have kids, I think, or something like that, that's under threat of being cut, it's going to sink in gradually. It is, well, not so gradually, it is beginning to settle in, and I think it will get better from here. That's not to say they're out of the woods, because they're not. Because these vile people, like these vicious, deluded, aggressive, absolute selfish people, will fight for poor people not to have anything. They'll fight for working people not to have anything. They'll fight for the middle class not to get a single break. They throw their bodies across any of this stuff. So expect it to continue to be ugly, but it will limp on, and I think will improve in the course of next year and even the year after. Okay, so Biden, hang in there, just get something in there. Now, in other news, we've got the Virginia governor's race. At the moment, McAuliffe, the Dem, is ahead. I think he's going to pull it off. I've read on that before. So let's have a look now at DeJoy, because although he is a spectacularly uninteresting man in every way, mean-spirited, drunk with power, horrible as he is he doing this to try and sabotage the votes, the mail-in votes and stuff? I mean, what is he doing? DeJoy. Why is he still there is the first question, Is DeJoy going to stay there? Why is he in this role, and what is he doing? Why is he there, and what is he doing? I have to say, the Dems do have to get more aggressive themselves about replacing some of these people. Okay, here he gets the Seven of Swords, theft. Why am I surprised? Well, he's got some sort of protection that I don't quite understand. Okay, let's start here. This is getting away with what you can get away with. This is the traditional Seven of Swords known as the theft card. So this is someone stealing whatever they can steal. He's a darker figure than I perhaps thought. I think he's meeting secretly with people who are actually giving him direction. In the sense, I don't think this is DeJoy himself thinking, perhaps I'll do this. Oh, I wonder if I'll do that. He's been told what to do. I don't have horses. They've used the carrot and the stick with DeJoy, which I hadn't realised before. So the carrot is, if you do this and do it for a number of years and do what we want you to do, which is mess up the postal service, so basically Democrat votes can't get counted, which is profoundly stupid, seeing Democrats aren't the only one who uses votes, but these people are not smart. Okay, so there's the reward that he's been promised and the threat. If he doesn't, they've got something on him that they're threatening to use. Who is this they I'm talking about? I wonder. I suspect this is the card of the mercenary in the Russian deck. I suspect it's the leftover Trump troops, in the sense, I think Bannon's not that interested at that level. But remember the Stephen Millers and all this, even Rebecca Mercer, even her name is half of the word mercenary. Never thought of that before. It could be donors, a couple of donors who have realised the power of the post office in a way. And I think they're orchestrating this. I don't think the Yeti's thinking about it. So if you like, it's top level but sideways. Does that make sense? It's not actually in the front of the main player's brains, but someone else who is a mercenary by nature has taken on that role. So I'm not seeing him going in the next 5 minutes. How much would I love to be wrong? But those cards are not indicating he's going anywhere. So he's going to do a bit of damage yet. Now, questions I had from last time before I get on to an update on the January 6th stuff was Deripaska. Now, remember last video I talked about him, and we have a difference in pronunciation going on, international viewers. For Americans, I think you say aluminum, and in Australia, we say aluminium. Who's right? Who's wrong? The point is, he is the czar of all that, right? So because Deripaska is a big fish, the question from two viewers was, will Russia retaliate now his home's been thoroughly searched, you might say? They'd be freaked out. So the question is, will Russia retaliate over the Deripaska search warrant? Will Russia retaliate? Will Russia retaliate? Oops. These are very heavy cards. What fell out? Oh, Judgment. How hilarious. Having to make a case. They're talking about it. Yeah. Oh, they're worried about what will be found. Basically, I think this is in the Kremlin itself. They're talking about, how did this happen? What do you know? What did he have? They're calling in some of their spies, their actual spooks, international spooks, to find out what they've heard about what has been found. They're very worried about this. This to me is international espionage. What are they worried about? Well, things that they had hidden or Deripaska had hidden, right, being searched and found. So, Russia. I love this guy. This is the magician card. Can they pull a rabbit out of the hat with this? I'm going to go to my little cute cards. I'm going to clarify it. This is about Russia. Are they going to retaliate? What I can tell you is they're thinking about it. They're thinking of ways to do it. The question is, will they do it, or will something else take center stage? You know? So can we please have a clarifier on the magician? We need a clarifier on the magician. Oh, someone's traveling. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is interesting. This is the butterfly, which could be freedom, beauty, light, and joy. Really not something you associate with the Kremlin. So it has its other meaning of the butterfly, of notes and letters and emails and things that flutter through the air they're looking at. These things have traveled almost manually. It's like this is the things that are in cyberspace. And this is back to, remember I was talking about the spies. I'm getting a strong vibe here of actually carrying things across the border. And they're worried, Deripaska, not the least of them, are worried about ending up in jail. So does anyone know, Deripaska hasn't been arrested, has he? He's not under house arrest or anything already. I'm wondering with this butterfly card, if he isn't going to take flight, pull out one of his other 8 passports and disappear to somewhere. I think he's a flight risk, is how I'd sum that up. Deripaska is a flight risk. All right, now I want an update about the Jan 6 committee. It's hard to keep the faith, isn't it, as the time drags on, but we must. So what can we expect with Jan 6 between now and the end of the year? Because next year will be symbolically a brand new day, and we'll see what that brings. But from now until everyone signs off for the end of the year, what's going to happen with the Jan 6 committee? Jan 6 committee. All right, let's look here. Oh, women are celebrating, truth coming forward, evaluation. Yes, still a bit embattled here. Not surprised. Okay. Now, I think, I hope, I pray, this is a card of celebration, and I'm thinking maybe just recently, I'm hearing this week even, they've sourced something they were hoping to get, but didn't think they'd be able to get, and now they've got it. Something that we don't know about, but it's important because it has the power to actually sway women. So there's something about this issue that could make middle-of-the-road GOP Republican women, even, or the independents, go, oh, something like that. We've got the truth coming forward. This is the cutting through the rubbish card, as it's known in the trade. They're still evaluating the materials. This is not a quick process, but they need to giddy up, right? But they're doing it in a measured way. They're taking a breather in between barrages of what's happening. And the Knight of Wands, I'm thinking, is the DOJ coming in here. We all know, it's the last thing I think about at night, and the first thing in the morning is, has Bannon been arrested yet? Right? So this could be the DOJ. This is the cautious knight going forward, but reining the horse in. Let's hope they're getting somewhere with that. I'm going to look at, where are my astrology cards? Now, I have to preface this by saying I am not an astrologer, but I have huge respect for those who are, because they're very good at providing the timing and the atmosphere for things that are happening, and it helps explain a lot of what's going on and what we're all feeling and why and where it's heading. So I do watch quite a few astrologers. If you want to be calmed down, Pamela Gregory is very good from the UK. Bracker Goldsmith, also, they often work together. And there are other astrologers who may be a bit more brutal. Depends what sort of information you want and how you want it delivered. But Pamela Gregory is fantastic at summing up these huge movements in the world that are really disruptive and chaotic and challenging and frightening, and making them sensible and calming you down and giving you the confidence and the energy to lift your vibration, to be over it, and to see what's going on, right? Instead of it being in your face and terrifying. So let's see what astrology cards come out. Oh. Great. Now here's Pluto. Now, I've been talking about Pluto. Pluto is the great disruptor, destroyer of the status quo. When things have been anchored in and seen that they could never be rocked, can never change, then along comes Pluto and goes, oh, America, this is your Pluto return. Remember that revolution you had before and you had to fight for it and for the country you wanted? You remember? Here it is again. So that's Pluto's message. You actually don't want the Band-Aid of, oh, how it was in 2015. No. That ship has sailed. It's really important to understand it's got to be new and better than, right? So that's Pluto. Pluto is also volcanoes, earthquakes, this sort of seismic shifts in consciousness. So it's figurative and it's literal. So there's Pluto. Now, to soften that a bit, here's Venus. I mean, this one looks a bit soft porn. I'm not mad about these actual images, but get them. Venus is about beauty and kindness and love. And so there, you'd have to watch a real astrologer to see what's going on with Venus at the moment. But there's this Venusian energy over it, which is a counterfoil to this heavy Pluto upheaval. This is asking you to think on a higher plane. And to help you, here comes the dragon, the North Node. And as I understand it, again, simplistically, because I'm a tarot girl, not an astrologer, the South Node, these are intergenerational things. If you're born in the same group of years, we share certain aspects of this. So the South Node is your karmic debt and what you're leaving behind and have to work on and so forth. And the North is where you're going karmically. So it's really important, if you think about this, to make sure that Venus is represented in your heart, as opposed to just wanting to see people in jail and just wanting to see them gone. It's a long process to get rid of them. Pluto's not that fast, but it's very thorough. Okay, so the Venus energy is really important. And this is also love of children, pure love. This isn't Willy Ring on Saturday night type romantic love. No, no, no. This is deep humanitarian love. And we could all do with some of that. All right, beloved, intrepid viewers, so good to share some time with you. I'll be back before you know it. Okay, bye, guys. Take care. Ciao, ciao.